We're gonna be talking about getting old.
You're old.
Chris is old too, man. As much as he wants to deny it.
I don't deny it though.
So you accepted that you're old. You think you're old.
Luke,
like you're what,
31? Have I said I'm washed? Yes.
You think 31 is old?
I'm washed, bro.
Nah, Chris, you gotta be trolling. There's no way you think you're old.
I got one more year of prime left, and then it's cooked. It's over for me.
That's crazy to me.
I'm the drain, bro.
Do you know how crazy that sounds?
I'm the drain. Your prime is like 25 to like 31, 32. And then after that, you're cooked. You're cooked. Sayonara to the good years.
All right, so okay.
Lou's still stuck in the good years. He thinks he's 25.
I mean,
in reality.
Well, let's be clear. I don't think I'm 25, right? Like I know I'm 37 years old. And my body tells me that I'm 90, right? Because I have a bad foot, I have a bad shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I'm my body's falling apart. But when do you feel it's too? I know men can have babies until they're like 80. Look at Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. But when do you think for you and your mate, you don't have one yet?
Right.
When, I mean, women have an age where it just stops when they can reproduce. Right. When do you think, like, you know what? Maybe it's it for me. I don't want to have kids.
I would say like 40.
So 40 is the mark. Okay.
Like if I don't have anything by now, I'm getting the snippity snip gips.
What? You're going to wait till 40 to snip?
Chop, chop. Yeah. I think that's right. That's when you legally could get it snipped.
No. My coworker just got it done and he's 38. He's 38.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah.
My dad
40,
did it
40,
later on after he had my little sister. He must have been like 45, 46 years old.
Yeah, like 40, 42, the latest would be like my cutoff for like.
So you're willing to wait that long to have children? You don't think about, what, 37, 38, it's a wrap.
Nah, because I just feel like I'll still be in decent shape.
How old was your dad when he had you?
29.
Oh, he was young. Yeah, I think 29 is young.
He was 29.
He was young.
And I was the last one. So.
Yeah. And how old was he when he had your brother?
I believe it was 26 for my sister, 27 for my brother, 29 for me.
Wait, your sister's the oldest? I thought your brother's the oldest.
Sister's the oldest.
Really?
But we're all real close though. Like,
no, I know. In the age gap, like you guys are like every year or every other year.
I'm the furthest away. They're a year apart. Like basically when my mom was okay to get pregnant again, he was like, we lit, let's go. Oh. And got pregnant again. Then she was like, yo, chill out. I need a break. They took, 2 years off and we're like, all right, here, here's another one. So
that's hilarious. But I will say,
I would say my cutoff 42.
42. Wow. Okay. All right. But we never know what's the exact age as a cutoff for the women, right? But do you think whoever you're with, it starts to get harder as you get older that they're not going to have children at that age? So are you afraid of that? I'm not saying you're afraid to be a stepdad. I'm just saying, would you prefer to start a family fresh, or does it matter?
If I do, yes, I would rather start fresh. 100%.
No, I dig that.
But as long as it's not going to be like a danger to her.
Yeah.
Then I'm cool with it. I mean, with modern science, it makes it easier. I know women that had babies like close to like 50 years old, bro.
Really? You know what I mean? And no problems?
Yeah, no problems.
Wow.
So with modern medicine and all that kind of stuff, it's definitely more possible now than it used to be.
Yeah.
But as long as she's safe and she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I know once they start hitting like the mid-30s, that's when it starts getting difficult to.
Well, shout out to your sister, right? I don't know if she watches the show. She's pregnant. She's gonna have a girl. They had the gender reveal. How old is she? She 34?
She just turned 35.
35. Okay.
This month, she just turned 35, literally.
Wow.
About 10 days ago.
Did you ever ask her, being that she had your nephew a lot younger, obviously? But
it's been like 17 years.
Is there a difference from her, like how she feels at this later in her life versus when she was younger?
I haven't asked her. I feel like it's still a lot. It's real early on because the baby's due in September.
Okay. So you got what, 6 months?
Early months. Yeah, she's still in the early months of her pregnancy. So it's like.
Okay, so it's hard to tell. Like,
right.
Once she starts to like really like get closer and that bump starts to get bigger.
Like her bump is there though. Like it's visible.
Damn, so it's gonna be a big girl.
There. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, my family, we run with the big head gang. You know what I'm saying? We come out with the chromodomas. You know,
Damn.
so
All right.
but we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
because
find
I
out in
think
September.
right now the way the way society is, I was watching a video, I told you this earlier, where the right now is March Madness and the NCAA tournament is going on, and they were interviewing some of the basketball players who are 18, some 17, 19 years old, and they're saying what year is considered old. And a lot of the guys were saying 2003, 2004, and that blew my mind. Do you hear stuff like that a lot?
Yeah, but you got to think about it from their perspective, right?
But how is
They're
22 years
thinking because
old?
they're thinking about being in college, right? College is supposed to be 4 years. If you're 22, 23 years old in college, you're considered a super senior at that point.
Wow. But you see, college has no, people go get their PhDs
Of
and their
course, of
masters and all that
course.
stuff.
But these kids just got out of high school. They're literally teenagers, you know? They can't drink. They can't do anything.
That's
They can't rent
crazy.
a car, you know? So it's like they don't get it yet because they're still in that young kid mindset. So when the kids think, they're like, oh, they think once you could drink, you're old.
That's crazy.
That's what
And then
they
one
think once
person
you can
said
drink, you're an old
anything in the
man.
1900s. That's even more like that's hurtful. Anything in the
Listen,
1900s? Why does that sound like the 1800s to me?
when I first started working at my job, I work at a middle school. The kids were like, "Oh, were you born in the late 1900s?" I said, "Yo, what?"
The late
I
1900s.
said, "Yo, bro, what you mean by that?" Like, yeah, the late 1900s. Accurate, but it sounds disrespectful. Like, yo, I
Yeah,
should
it
cave your
does.
chest in, son. What you
Yeah.
mean late 1900s, bro? I'm young, bro. You know, but it's true. Like, we were born in the late 1900s, technically,
I
right? But
don't
you gotta think
think
about it. The 1900s, it's a whole freaking like
100
millennium, bro.
years. Yeah. But my thing is, if it was like, oh, I'm born in 1945, then it's like, hey, you old.
Yeah, but that's mid 1900s. We're late 1900s, Lou.
That's
Gotta
crazy.
accept it, bro.
Okay, but
It just sounds bad.
let's say someone died in their 30s. We say, damn, they were young. But as they're living, damn, you old.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. That'll make sense.
Yeah, but we're not saying they're the old ones. It's the kids that are saying it.
Well,
so you're
the
telling
kids
me
are
when you were
stupid.
young,
That should be
you
the
were telling
title
me
of this
when you were young, you
episode.
never called.
Kids are stupid.
You want to get fired, bro? Hey, my
People
face
in
on
your
the
job.
cover, like, hey, kids are stupid. Yes, people at my job watch my podcast.
They
yes.
do? No way.
They
We
make
gotta be careful what we
suggestions and
say.
everything. They're like, yo, you guys gotta go back to the studio. You gotta do this. You gotta.
We do have to go to the
telling you, they
studio. It's gonna
watch.
happen. The summertime's coming
But,
around.
But no, when you were a kid, you didn't think people that weren't really that old were old. You
You
didn't call
see,
them old.
I
Come
try
on,
to
Louis.
think about that. I really try to put myself in the kid's shoes. You know, I was talking to my son about this the other day. On Saturday, I went to go see my mom with my son,
Right.
and I said to my son, I said, when I was 12, my mom was 31 and my dad was 33. My son's 12 and I'm 37. And I said, if you look at pictures of my dad when he was 33, he looks older than me. So when he's 33,
but
he
I
looks
feel like-
older versus me looking 37.
I feel like everybody looked older when they
You think
back
so?
in the day. I think it was picture quality, lighting, and all that stuff. Like they didn't have that back then. You feel me? Like we got the technology to make ourselves look nicer, right? Your dad didn't have a freaking $800 camera with good lighting. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have that for himself.
I don't know.
He's taking
I
a
don't-
picture on a stupid disposable camera with terrible lighting that comes. Like you're gonna look older, bro. I'm sorry. It's the truth.
It's just weird. You know what? You're probably right, because even when you look back at like even older movies, some
Yeah.
of these guys, they're in their 30s and 40s, and I thought they were like 60 at the time.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Also, like, but think about it like this, Lou, right? When you were younger, you didn't say, "Oh, I can't wait to be an adult," and you're thinking like in your 20s, you're an adult, you're grown.
You know what's crazy? I don't know. Maybe because I'm just such a kid. I can't remember ever saying, I can't wait till I get older. I really can't remember saying that.
That's because you were bougie, bro. You a baby all your life.
Nah, I never wanted to rush. I think I enjoyed being a kid. I enjoyed playing sports after school. I enjoyed, even in college, playing sports in college. making music, DJ. I enjoyed that. It wasn't like I can't wait to get my own place and start living on my own. I'm gonna stay with my dad as long as I can. You keep me there till I'm 40, I'll stay there.